All right, here we go. What even day are we on, Toby? Sunday.
Sunday.
Weekly roundup. Sunday. I don't even know
Ripping
what day
by
it is.
us.
That is, yeah. That's when you know you're full-time crypto, when you don't even know what day it is. Yeah, so welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. We're just going to do a weekly roundup today. Community call is next week, and we have a really exciting one coming up. So yeah, let's jump straight into the weekly roundup of just kind of what's gone on this week in the markets and yield labs and yeah, just general updates. So, but I've got a guest today. Nice to have some company. So, welcome, Toby.
Hey man, how you doing? Good to be here.
All good. So, let's see what we've got in the chat before we start. Let's have a look. Yeah, Gemma, always there, always first. Beautiful.
Gem, Rich, the same crew.
Same crew.
The usual
Always
criminals,
the
usual suspects.
Yeah. And I wonder who's going to be successful out here. Like when you see the same people turning up all the time, dedicated, who do you think is going to be successful? Yeah, we've got a few others in there as well, of course. So, right, let's jump, share my screen, and let's jump straight into the markets. I'm just touching a couple of charts before we jump on. You see that, Toby?
Yeah, all good, man.
Lovely. So let's jump straight into the Bitcoin on the monthly to start with. Always look at looking at the higher time frames. Obviously, they take precedence, but we can't really argue with this chart at the moment from a monthly perspective. I was kind of could you just go on mute, Toby? There we go. Yeah, so I took my eye off the monthly for a while, and I actually paid the price because I was just focused on the weekly, and that's always a lesson. Make sure that you're always zooming out to the maximum, just to make sure you can look at the high level overview. Yeah, and I got caught by surprise with this rally. But I think from a monthly perspective, you can't really argue at all. We've got three amazing candles in terms of just the support in this zone. But I think as we dive, my opinion kind of is unchanged on kind of where we're at. It's been an amazing rally and very positive for a potential continuation of the bull market. But the more we zoom in, the more cautious I get, and I just want to let everyone know that when I'm analyzing these charts, I'm talking very short term time frame. I'm not talking long term time frame, and a lot of people get confused with what I'm saying. Oh, you're a holder, but you're saying it's bearish. It's very short term. Obviously, dollar cost average is probably the best strategy in a long term hold. Is the way to beat the market, but yeah, we're just talking what we can see now and kind of the immediate, I'd say 1 to 4 to 6 week moves. So we can see what I'm slightly concerned about, even though we have this amazing reaction off the 30,000 low and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 almost pickups and support zones there. Is just the volume profile on these charts is we're not kind of seeing the follow through volume that I'd like to see to sustain a rally. We're seeing very much similar kind of pattern and price action, basically to what we saw on the $65,000 run up previously. And if we kind of zoom into the daily, this is where my alarm bells start going off, especially like on the RSI. So we look at the relative strength index. We've just got bearish divergence, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 or 6 of those, dropping back into kind of the neutral RSI zone. Last time we did that, it was absolute carnage. Volume and MACD is kind of crossing up to the downside on the daily. I think it is on the weekly as well. And basically, yeah, just the short term. I don't think any FOMO is required at this point in terms of rushing to make allocations on altcoins or anything. I just err in caution really, because I hope we do as volume kind of drying up here. I hope that turns into an increased volume profile and we can just continue this rally on. But if we don't, I think at the minimum we can kind of expect a pullback to kind of this zone, and I call it the collision zone, not because just because there's so much going on in terms of the 50-week, the 20-week kind of coming together, and we'll see some sort of reaction out of this area. Obviously, everything's just bunching up very, very tightly in terms of price action and these two moving averages. So these are super important. We don't want them to cross because that's not going to be great for kind of short to medium term outlook. But yeah, I just be careful in this collision zone and kind of respect and a healthy pullback. 20-30% from here from the top would be right around this zone. We're probably not going to get this. We're either going to get less than this or a complete breakdown. And hopefully we just kind of 18 to 20% pullback would be nice right into this box, and then kind of a back test, and then make our way off until all-time highs. That would be the dream scenario, something like this, up and down. But we don't always get what we want, and we get what we're given. So yeah, I'm just airing caution here to everybody. You can see at the bottom here, the volume profile is declining. We have seen before volume profiles declining and then explosive moves to the upside. So literally anything is possible, but just be very, very cautious in this zone and very respectful of the 20-week moving average. I think for me, that's one of the most just important bull or bear market kind of indicators. So if we zoom out historically, the 20-week has always been kind of support of bull market. So we want to make sure that this remains intact. So we can see the last time we penetrated the 20-week moving average, it was absolute capitulation and it's a cascade of liquidation. So we don't expect that sort of thing again, but very, very, we've made our way above it. Hopefully we can back test and continue on, but also be very, very cautious in terms of making oversized allocations into risk on assets and altcoins, because if this does take a nosedive, everything else is going to get absolutely destroyed, and a lot of things haven't even made new all-time highs yet. So yeah, let's look at Ethereum. I think it's a bit of a different story on Ethereum. I don't really bother with a monthly too much on Ethereum. It's just there's not really enough candles. Kind of the weekly is never came out of a I'm sorry, like a lot of my annotations have gone off my charts this week. They all just disappeared for some reason. I don't know, TradingView's just messing around. So yeah, we've never really come out of the bullish posture. We can obviously see the moving averages have sprayed out nicely, all stacked on top of each other, which we'd like to see. If we look at Bitcoin again, you can see we're not quite there with that. Obviously, it's a much more mature asset. So like to see these start to fan out again. Probably the daily's better for Bitcoin. You can start to see they are starting to stack on top of each other and fan. So that's a nice posture as long as we continue up. With Ethereum, we've never really lost that pattern at all. So let's go weekly. Yeah, it's super, super bullish, to be honest. And this huge divergence between the moving averages is very, very, it shows just the strength. And obviously we're going to come back together here. Let's see if we can make a reaction, a pull back into these averages, and then a push up. So yeah, Ethereum's looking great, but obviously it's all about Bitcoin. So any comments, Toby, on kind of how you see it in terms of markets?
I saw a really interesting report a couple of days ago. Now I'd have to tell you what, I'll find this link, I'll dig it out, and I'll jump it into the Telegram chat after this call. But it was basically a show of how many. It's basically a measure of like how many Bitcoin wallets are classed as holders. Like, so they've held the same sort of like position size over a period of time since, like 5 years ago. And basically those wallets have accumulated an enormous amount of Bitcoin during this ranging down period and this ranging sideways period. And the amount of Bitcoin on exchanges has also taken a massive decrease too. So, it just seems very undecided, doesn't it? Like you said on it from the it's a bit of a knife edge still. And like the further I zoom, they look more healthy, the charts, but like looking in daily, weekly, and like less than daily looks it looks apprehensive. It's not sure where it's going.
That's it. So it's just air caution, right? Like long term, obviously we know the trend long term, and the fundamentals obviously are very important too. And the fundamentals are super bullish in terms of kind of the on-chain data and stuff. But obviously the technicals do play a part as well. So you just have to be respectful and yeah, this is why it's very hard to invest because you basically it's just hard to read these. You know, this can go either way. It's probably favoring kind of a short-term pullback and then continuation, but you just never know. Anything can happen. You have to manage risk all the time. So that's what we try and help people out here. And yeah, let's jump into
Don't
some of
get
the
caught.
rest. Yeah,
Don't get caught with your pants down, basically. Do you guys hold more Bitcoin?
Yeah, do you hold more Bitcoin or Ethereum or both? So obviously, my personal perspective is not financial advice. Is Ethereum's going to outperform Bitcoin significantly. So, but in terms of my personal holdings, I'm not weighted that way. Um, I have a different size portfolio to other people, so I make my own decisions based on um, on that. So I'm not going crazy allocating to a lot of Ethereum at this point. But obviously, I'm actively trying to increase my Ethereum stack just by dollar cost averaging a lot of my yield into that asset rather than taking it that way. So yeah, it's pros or would depends which side you're on.
Yeah. And for me, it was Ethereum that got me into blockchain technology and got me into cryptos. Mine is weighted that way. I hold more Ethereum than pretty much anything else. But yeah, it's sorry, hang on, that game down. Sorry, Jem. Yeah, so I am trying to find a bit of balance because it's always to have balance, right? Make sure you have exposure to both sides. But I agree with Kevin. At least in the next couple of years, I think Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin.
Yeah, it also depends what you're trying to achieve, right? So if you want to end up with a lot of Ethereum or Bitcoin or whatever way, so it's very hard to answer these personal questions, but yeah, it's pros and cons to both, but I think Ethereum's going to outperform Bitcoin just kind of on even just on the fact of adoption of Ethereum. Forget everything else versus Bitcoin. It's crazy and it's outperforming it. So let's jump into some of the news this week. You just go on mute, Toby. There we go. So Star Terra this week on Terra. This is kind of a new gamified launch pad, or kind of crowdfunding platform, which is kind of they had their token sale this week, which was as all of the kind of the token launches or sales, they're all a bit hectic and everyone flooding in and bots and arbitrage and all sorts. And I'll show you a demonstration of kind of what happened in a minute. But yeah, this is really cool. This is one of my highlights of the week. I think this is really fun, and we've kind of seen even from like back in the Celsius days that when you kind of gamify or turn coin holding into a competition, it basically it creates a frenzy and everybody wants to outdo each other, just as they do in life, and basically, yeah, get all the coins and be top of the leaderboard. So this has a lot of potential, and I think it's something to watch in terms of I think gaming, which is not really an ecosystem that I kind of understand as well as I should anymore. I used to game a lot when I was younger, but I'm probably out of date with a lot of the stuff now. But I think when you add the huge kind of frenzy for gaming and crypto on top of each other, I think this is going to be very, very interesting. So you can see that they kind of got all these different tiers to kind of try and for staking, and you get different factions that you can join, and you can basically invest in different projects depending where you rank on this. And it'd be really cool. It's a very new platform. The roadmap's here, and let's see how. And they've got a decent team. So let's see how this one goes. This is, and I think it's going to be interesting just to see kind of what the token does in terms of the price, because with that gamification element on it, I think it's going to become a bit of a frenzy. The piranhas are going to be all over this one. So there we go. So yeah, let me go into a coin hole. So for those who haven't seen so any of the new platforms that are kind of or projects that are launching on Terra, this coin hole is really cool because you can basically track the charts of all this stuff that's not chartable anywhere else yet. So you click on STT on the Star Terra, you can basically see what happened here at the launch. So this was just a IDO, and basically, yeah, it just turned into a frenzy. There was a lot of arbitrary, basically bots front running the price, and then just running up to crazy levels. People not using slippage properly. So I guess the lesson learned that is always set your slippage limits. I know the Star Terra team kind of reached out after, and they're going to try and fix this. And anybody that kind of got caught up in this crazy wick is going to be refunded or have different tokens, or they've released an article on that. So yeah, crazy. I'll be honest, I did put a little small amount of money in, and I just got chopped up in the wick as well. So I just wanted to make sure that I got an allocation of these tokens. I didn't put the whole allocation that I'm trying to gather, just because I want to be able to access these platforms. I believe these tokens act as kind of infrastructure on your portfolio and allow you to access these early deals, the way you can basically use stable coins to kind of mint positions in these, or basically it's like lossless farming. So you kind of farm in stable coins when you never lose your initial investment, initial kind of capital. So I think this is a really powerful strategy that people are going to be able to use to kind of protect their portfolios and get in early on some promising projects. So yeah, this is unfortunate. And then we can kind of see there's been, this is very, very new chart and not a lot of volume, but we can kind of see people are just buying this up. Obviously, you get the idiots taking profit straight away within 5 minutes, which is just ridiculous. But yeah, it's really cool. If you can, I think, let's see how this launch goes. And yeah, just get an allocation of these tokens, not financial advice, and then see, and we can, the single-sided staking will be available soon. I think I'm not going to launch the app because I haven't got my my wallet connected, but let's see if we can do it here. This was the launch pad for buy-in, but yeah, basically there's LP positions open already, and they're going to have single-sided staking too. So what do you think on Star Terra, Toby? Any interest of yours? Oh, he's gone. There we go. That'll help. Let's join him back in.
Sorry, man, back. Yeah, I was keen to get an allocation. I was not ready for the carnage, and I didn't manage to really get into it by the time that I could actually log in, and it had already launched from the permitted or agreed upon like 14 cents up to like it was $22 or something when I looked. So I was just like, nah, I'll leave that for now. Whether I have a lot of interest in it now, don't know. I guess just one that I'll keep my eye on and see what happens. It's always worth, this ecosystem, as I've said before in the YouTube videos and stuff, is it's really cheap and easy for you to have a play around, right? And I can't see any of these being bad plays, if I'm being honest. Obviously not financial advice, but I think that there's a lot of promise in this ecosystem, and there's a lot of hunger to drive these projects forwards, which is really refreshing, especially whilst a lot of other stuff has been sort of inactive maybe, or trending sideways a little bit. So it's certainly exciting to see all of these launches, prepping for blast off and then actually blasting off when they launch.
Yeah. I think it's got a lot of I think this strategy, if you do have capital, of being able to use capital to like get these positions for free, is going to be very, very lucrative. I think the time horizons. Look, there's people here within like, what's this, 5 hours they've already sold, right? So people, and obviously maybe they got in at the private round, but this is a ridiculous time horizon, right? You need to hold these coins for 6 months, 12 months, and really watch the platform develop, do your research, and you should be able to make insane multipliers on this. The people who got in at the seed round or the pre-round, there was like a lottery. A couple of the guys from our Telegram got in, and it was 14 cents. And then obviously it launched at like $5, and it went up to $8.50. So it's like a 50, 60x. Yeah, their tokens are vested, but they got a 10% unlock and different stuff. So I don't think those type of multiples are achievable, but like 5 times multiple is very achievable in terms of like what you're minting out in terms of tokens, and then you wait for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, and then you should be able to get a handsome return. I think. Look, this is just a theory of mine. I've not done this before, but I think this is a new way to kind of look at your portfolio, and it definitely fits into stuff into my strategy of basically up only format or structure on my portfolio, where I'm not really giving back much to the market and just minting out new positions. So let's have a look what else is on here on this coin haul. There was yeah, so they got Anchor, Bonded Luna. Don't think the TWD token hasn't launched yet, but this will be really cool when it does, the Terra World. So I guess it's worth mentioning that like a lot of these, so if we look at the Pylon Gateway, where this is an alternative to kind of Star Terra platform, so I think a lot of the Terra projects are going to launch between this one, Pylon Gateway, and Star Terra. So having some mine tokens and having some Star STT tokens to basically guarantee you can get involved in those is probably a wise idea, and trying to treat it as infrastructure, so you're not looking to trade it and add more. You kind of make that investment, and then that allows you to do what you need to do while the asset appreciates at the same time.
Especially for things like the mine token itself. So like that's Pylon's native token. For example, like you guys, some of you guys watching the stream might be familiar with Yield App, or might be familiar with Celsius, where there's a certain utility sort of side to owning these tokens. For example, you get the tiers in Yield App. Again, with mine, sometimes you're required to stake 10,000, and then in the first sort of like launch, that lets you have between $2,000 and $4,000 or $5,000. I guess it's project specific. And then if you've got 100,000 mine staked, then that lets you have like much larger investments. And it's just like going back to Kevin's like ye olde pizza oven thing. Like you got to buy the ovens if you want to make the pizza, right? So these are sort of utility tokens, or what you'd see as a pizza oven and as a tool that you need to run your business.
Yeah, that's it. When you look at the portfolio as kind of a business structure, and then this is kind of just assets that you need to run your business, rather than looking at the price of mine. Like I don't really care about the price of mine, wherever it goes. I got the allocation. I didn't get into these pools early enough. I missed this one, but I bought some of the tokens, and then I've been able to access Terra World. So this is what kind of the pools look like for anybody that hasn't. So a project will go live. I'll just step one back. So a project goes live on the platform. So this is a new Terra World. So you click participate, you jump in here into the pools, and then you can kind of see it's a 6-month total vesting. You put your capital in, whatever you want to put in. I don't think there's any minimums, and then you kind of get this APR in token, and then you can kind of track how much is being distributed here. And then see how much is 9 million being put into that pool. Then they obviously have different vesting periods and different rewards. So take a long-term approach. I think you're going to do very well on some of these things. So like Terra World's very interesting, because we have had a lot of like when these have been launched, a lot of chaos. They had basically a purchase function, so you could buy some of the tokens early on. That was a bit disastrous, and a lot of refunds and different things. And then obviously Star Terra's had its bots getting involved and then running the price up to crazy $35 in the first 2 seconds. So like there's a lot of kinks here to be ironed out, but from what I can see, all of these projects are trying to, they might not be getting it right, but they're trying to fix it when they get it wrong. So it's very encouraging. They're trying to give refunds, trying to,
and that's admirable, right?
Yeah,
they're admitting that they did wrong. It's like, it's so refreshing to see like some of these companies be like, all right, sorry guys, like we screwed that up. This is what we're going to do to fix it, and they appear to be doing just that. And there is, if you hop on over to our YouTube channel as well, you'll be able to see a bit more of an in-depth guide on how you can actually use the Pylon Gateway to invest and see what's up and coming over there.
Yeah, it's cool. So keep an eye on these things. Right, what's next? So finally, Celsius, Cardano. When Cardano? I've been hearing this for probably about 18 months, 2 years now, but it's live now. You're able to make deposits on with Cardano on Celsius. So finally, the asset that you haven't been able to do much, you can actually earn some sort of yield, and I think that's great. Somewhere to park it. Obviously, the price action on Cardano has been amazing. It's not something I've been involved in, but yeah, congratulations to all those people. There's promos here if you want to use them. Um, and there's a good program of promos running on Celsius at the moment. So yeah, head over there if you're not using it. If you can't access it in the UK or Germany or maybe some other jurisdictions, but great platform, and kind of the market leader in terms of time and tested and security and different things. So yeah, great to finally see that. I think that's definitely worth announcing, because people have been waiting for that a long time. So the alternative, probably one of the only alternatives I see, is kind of Yield App at the moment, and that token's doing very well. This was a box that I drew quite a while ago. So this is the YLD token in versus USD Tether. So yeah, you can see basically, as I wrote an article on this, I think I wrote it back here somewhere, just saying basically being able to earn in YLD is a great risk reward at the moment. You know, I wasn't really saying it's the best asset in the world or anything, but I was just saying being able to use dollars to accumulate risk on positions and yield high. And then obviously anybody that earned anything in this period or this period or this period has done very well, because you basically earned whatever 20%. I think it's 20.5% now on dollars you can earn if you hold a balance of YLD token, which is about $10,000 worth at the moment. And yeah, and then that yield has gone up 50 to 70 to 80%. So that's what I was talking about. It's happened. Where this token goes, I don't know. I think the risk reward on it down at these levels was insane. I just don't really see how it could drop too much further from here, from 25 to 30 cents. I was telling everyone to buy it, not buy big chunks of it on the market openly, but yield it, get it for free via stable coins. And yeah, you're doing very well. Obviously, there's a lot of sell pressure because there's a lot of emissions at the moment, but it's a decent platform, good team. I've interviewed a lot of the team and spoke to them, and I think it's a worthwhile option at the moment for yield. And the token's performing very well at the moment. So anywhere around this 50 cents. Obviously, we can see here we've got this zone where somebody's taking significant profit, but we kind of broke. I don't think TA's too useful on this asset, but you can certainly see it's been in this long-term downtrend. It's kind of breaking out of that downtrend. I think if we take out this level, it might go on a little run as well, but it's a very new asset, not a lot of volume, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's not an awful lot of volume. Obviously, we had this crazy run up at the beginning, from kind of pre-sale dump, some heavy market retracement on Bitcoin as well. So yeah, well done for everyone who kind of read that article and took action, because you've been earning a lot of money on basically dollars without taking any risk. Do you any comments on kind of Yield App or anything, Toby, from your side?
I think that they've got some good stuff coming in the pipeline. For any of you that do use it, I think you'll see that perhaps it is quite a basic platform. I think that it's got room to grow. I think the guys there are a really good team, and they're working hard to grow it. And I think that they are, they're doing the second round of the Bitcoin fund at the moment, right? So people, those are filling up like pretty quickly. So I think there's eyes on it, and I think that perhaps it has got room to grow. And it came at a sort of like a good time when people were perhaps intrigued into DeFi and sort of single-sided liquidity mining, and this was almost a CeFi option of doing so, right? It was one of the first people to kind of offer that, like in a wrapper and a platform that felt safe to use and worked.
Yeah, just looking through the comments, just to go back to this one. Yeah, I think they're going to have a game section as well, so you can play the game as well and on Starterra and earn. But the Yield App, yeah, I think it's decent. I think it's going to be kind of institutional grade, kind of the platform that they're building. And I don't think it's glamorous. I don't think it's exciting. I don't think it's like Starterra where you can play games and be in a faction and do all really cool stuff. I don't think it's going to be the hottest asset in the world. I don't think it's going to do a Celsius and do that big run. I don't think any of this stuff. But do I think earning 20.5% on dollars and then making 100% on my yield is attractive? Yes, I do. So that's all it is for me. I think it's a promising project. Let's track the metrics. I always put the metrics out and track the growth, and they're all going in the right way. So congratulations to the team and anyone who's yielding that asset. And you can even convert it to ETH, right? That's a great option too, or anything you want. So you can basically earn the YLD and do what you want with it.
Yeah.
That's not financial advice. Let's share the screen again. So next week we have Orion on the community wall. The core contributors are coming on, Vol and Sam. So this is a really cool project on Terra. So yeah, look out for that community call next week. We had an amazing response on the Anchor video last week. I think we had 2,300 views in about 3 or 4 days. So crazy. It was just, I think there's such a thirst for kind of these products, and obviously this feeds into Anchor as well. So we're going to be super excited to kind of be able to deposit your the rest of your stable coins, not just UST, and then these high rates. So yeah, they're going to do their own sale. We're going to ask a lot of questions next week. Get your questions ready. Anchor's the backbone for this. You're going to be able to earn up to 20% on USDC. So we can look at alternatives, when rates do dilute elsewhere. Maybe they do on Yield App and different things, and Celsius. Then these DeFi alternatives in these early stage, backed by a solid platform and in Anchor, and we've spoken to that guy last week, so you can see for yourself there's real people behind that. It's really attractive option. So we're really excited for this one. I think it's going to be a really great stream next week. Are you going to be ready for that, Toby? Orion? Any deposits going in there?
Yeah, man, fully ready for the Orion. Loving that. I think it's amazing. Like, so it's bringing sort of like stable coins en masse to the sort of Terra ecosystem. I don't want to some people that like algorithmic stablecoins, right? So, and this is what UST is. So, if your preferred stablecoin is USDC, then now that is a way that you can use. Like, you can wrap your USDC and use it to earn yield in Orion. That's basically what it's going to do over. Because I think somebody asked in our either community chat or something about how does it differ from Anchor, and that's the answer in a roundabout fashion, is that it's all stables, not just UST.
Yeah, so there's a lot of technicalities in terms of like onboarding gas fees. So it's basically like Anchor on the Ethereum side, and then they're going to have bridges all over the place as well, so you can deposit other assets, Frax, lots of different things as well. So DAI,
it's really exciting. Really exciting.
And they're going to have, I think, loan projects, loan products, and lots of different things. So yeah, look out for next week. We're really and we'll see when the IDO is and when people can get involved in that, and we'll see what carnage happens there on that one. This is really fun. We've been playing with these this week. This is one of our friends, these Red Bull punks. Obviously, these are not the original punks, but we've been playing with these. Someone we know, Kevin, one of the founders of Yield Labs, one of his friends built this. So these are really cool. Not speculation advice or not financial advice to go and buy these things, and they're highly illiquid. But yeah, we're looking to do our own set for Yield Labs for the community, so that basically, we can all just have a bit of fun, own our own characters, and do different stuff. And we're really looking to try and build this community. Lots of fun things, lots of fun elements to the community. Let's gamify the community a bit and have characters and different stuff too. So yeah, highlight these. Everyone wants a cheap NFT, but obviously you're probably never going to be able to sell these. I don't think they're going to ever appreciate.
No. I think what we're trying to do is find a pretty good balance. Like, we don't want to take ourselves too seriously. We run our portfolios like we'd run a business, and obviously this is life for us, and we want to make sure that we're doing well at all times. But also, we're only human. We like to have a bit of fun while we're doing it, and so yeah, community profile pictures, it's a bit of fun, and I think it's a lot. It's really cool, especially in the wake of this NFT craze going absolutely off the hook, and that's pretty much what you can blame for your gas fees being so utterly outrageous at the moment.
Yeah, it's really stupid though, isn't it? Like, you buy these things and they're like 0.1, and then it costs you like 100 in gas to get it. It's just crazy, and it's only like $30 for the thing. So yeah, a lot of fun. Well done for making these. But there's a lot of versions of these, monster punks and all these other punks. But if you can't afford $150,000 to get the real ones, then you can just the originals, then you can get this. And I think for me, like I haven't really played around with NFTs so much, so it's been really fun to kind of just get these characters and just mess around with them and just put them in your wallet. It's really cool. Right. So in terms of Yield Labs this week, it's been an absolutely crazy week. We've managed to get our website out. You're welcome to go and have a look. Yieldlabs.io. It's just kind of a lot of information just on kind of our project, our principles, who's involved. We're going to have newsletters. We've got a dedicated community page, which basically will just has details on the community, what we're trying to achieve, what we're trying to do, all of our links. So head over to there. We've got B2B services as well, which we've got meetings with a few promising companies that want to kind of work with us as well. And I'm going to do a video probably next week or the week after, basically just outlining kind of the model of Yield Labs and how we're able to kind of deliver content, really high level content for free. And just how we're going to do that and kind of where we're going to get our money from. So we have consultation services if people want to use them. There's no need to take those if you don't want. Well, I think our free offering is pretty amazing. And we if you head over to our channels, you can see kind of a lot of that content's already there, and also the Telegram. So yeah, we're just starting to build this out. Took a lot of time to build the website. We've done it all ourselves. So it's we're starting to build everything out nicely now. And I think over the next months, you should see a lot of new updates.
Yeah, and the website looks good. I know Kev's put a lot of work into that. So well done, man. It looks amazing.
Yeah, that's it. It's done. So I'm glad it's done. Yeah, I'm not a web developer, but like we can always turn our hand to stuff. I built a few of these now actually, but it's becoming a little bit easier. But yeah, so excited to really kind of share the business model or how we're going to kind of monetize this platform in terms of being able to like just keep it free and then obviously drive that revenue that we do make back into the community. So keep an eye out for that next week. I'm just kind of designing the slides now and I'll get that out. So then obviously our socials are growing really fast as well. 8,200.
Yeah, and thank you guys for that. Thank everybody for that. Your support and everything's been phenomenal. So I really, really appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what we all we ask, really, just kind of follow, like, share, and help us kind of grow. That's kind of the deal. If we can continue to kind of give best in class content, bring the founders of these projects, build out everything, help, share our kind of strategies and different things with you. And then also what we want to take it one stage further, and basically because we're going to have it, kind of formalized, we'll be able to kind of access a lot of early stage deals potentially, or work with companies, and then we basically want to try and pass some of that back to the community to try and get you involved in that too, right? So it's typically crypto. A lot of people don't realize, but it's a different game for kind of the bigger fish to the small fish, not just in terms of portfolio size, but opportunity too. So we really want to try and level that. Obviously, that takes a ton of resource to be able to organize these things and do things like this initiative. So we haven't been able to do it for Orion, for example. That was one, but was something we definitely talked about and wanted to do. We just didn't have the resource to do it, just because it takes so long. So if we can get if people take our services, we've managed to work with companies and bigger players, and we can monetize around that way rather than just directly monetizing our community. We can pass all of that back and hire people to kind of run these things for us. And that's kind of the vision, not for me and the founders to kind of put our money in our own pocket to kind of build the community stronger and stronger, is kind of the way we want to do it. But let's see how we go. Obviously a lot of nice content on here this week, and then on the YouTube, this is growing pretty quick as well, considering we're only like 4-5 weeks into it. So on the way to 1,000, and tons of really cool content this week. So well done, Toby and Steve and all the team. Kevin did one with Patrick here about DOT. We had, what else did we have, Toby? We had Steady State Finance, that you did that one with Jonathan Libby. How did that one go?
Yeah, we had John Libby from Steady State. Yeah, he's a really great guy. He's he's young and he's hungry and he's ready to take on this project and make change. Yeah. And honestly, I think it sounds really interesting, and just trying to understand the project on a whole and understand like so Steve and I watched some more of his videos, and we tried to understand perhaps a bit more in depth, or get a bit more from him than he's perhaps given out in previous interviews. So we pushed on the like the tokenomics and like the incentivization of the project and how the DAO is going to operate, and and he's just like really forthcoming with that, and he's open and honest and transparent, and it's what you want to see, right? Like from people that you're backing, or like if it's somebody that's going to be insuring your crypto, and he's well spoken and he's well versed. He's had some interactions with some really important people in this space, and he's also they obviously have the backing of Yield App. So Tim Frost and those guys over there at Yield App are pushing Steady State to be everything that they need them to be, and obviously Orbit and Equify as well. Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah. So I think that's right. Like it's got, this is something to watch, but I think you touched on kind of also kind of, you've asked some of the more difficult questions. We definitely want to try and do that in our interviews, kind of not just ask what we're told to ask, just kind of dig down into the depths a bit and kind of ask the questions that really need to be, find the answers to those questions that the community really wants as well. So yeah, there's lots of other good content. We spoke with Chloe this week on Meet the Community, obviously the Anchor replay from last week. So that's just 1 week. We have a lot more coming next week. Orion, as we mentioned, we have a lot of other pre-recorded content to share. So please make sure you subscribe. That's all we ask. And I guess that's kind of it for the week in terms of updates. Let's look in the chat and see what we've got. If there's any questions, feel free. Anything catch your eye there, Toby?
Just the usual crew being degenerates by the looks of it.
Yeah. That's good. We don't mind a bit of that too. There we go. Smashing work.
Steady State.
Yeah. Steady State are going to be... Steady State said that their 25 bill having Yield App help this. Yeah, I think there's a big partnership there in terms of, I think there might be kind of working on that project together. I haven't kind of spoke to Tim or anyone about it, but I think it's got a bit of promise, and I think those could kind of align, those two offerings. And I think Yield App are trying to do something slightly different. Obviously, they have the hindsight on their side, which others kind of Celsius didn't have. So it's very easy for the next person to come along and build something better or kind of with some more functionality just because of hindsight, right? So we have to give the ones who tread the path first the credit, but it's nice that they're trying to do things a different way. So I think building these projects in, and Celsius said they were going to launch insurance a long time ago, and it didn't come. It's supposed to be there in 2 weeks, and it didn't come.
Trust me, it's coming in 2 weeks.
Trust me. So yeah, let's see if we get it in another 2 weeks. But yeah, I think it's inevitable. All these insurance products will be out pretty soon. So I think let's wrap it. That's
it, dude. I think wrap it there.
That's the week, and I think this will be happening, Gem. Don't you worry. That is definitely happening. So we'll get you one. We'll get a Gem Punk. You're gonna have to pay extortionate gas to buy it. But we'll
we'll try and we'll make sure that they're minted at like Sunday evening at like 2 a.m. or something ridiculous. Maybe that'll be our next all-nighter thing, as we can all stay up late and mint a punk a piece.
Mint a punk each, yeah. So also congratulations to all the people who bought Luna. Any amount or Solana, those amazing weeks, crazy on we were telling people to try and look at those assets. So I think this Yield Labs thing has got off to a good start because everybody came in and kind of got involved with Terra at these early stages, has kind of made a good chunk of money. And I think this is just the beginning for this ecosystem. I think it's really going to have a big run. Sooner or later is going to do kind of, I think it's had a great run already on Luna, but I think we're just kind of warming up, and I think it could have its own kind of parabolic phase at one point, even though the chart is pretty much a straight line already. I just think it can go a lot, it can go a lot further. So we have to be patient. Everything has its time, and so let's leave it there. Welcome all the Luna community as well.
It's great to have you guys here.
The lunatics. So there we go.
The lunatics.
Cool. Right. Time to go. We'll
Thanks,
see you in a week, and then we'll see you on the
Appreciate your time. Take it easy.